Good Monday morning. I hope this finds you well. Today we want to talk about ODM politics. People have asked me to talk about these things because I write a lot about them, but they probably don't believe that I can actually speak about them. There has been a lot of push and pull within ODM with the Secretary General Edwin Sifuna throwing all manner of jabs at the government of William Ruto to the discomfort of the ODM experts in government. They are so conflicted. And of course, with the non-committal attitude of Raila Odinga, the party leader, sending all manner of confusing signals. Let's just get into it, shall we? Well, number one, I think the problem in ODM is primarily Raila Odinga himself. Raila Odinga is a problem in ODM because, number one, he's aging, his health is not aptitude anymore. We are now seeing very imminent signs of dementia, but he still doesn't want to discuss succession. And this is a major political flaw on the part of Raila Odinga in my view, because if a political party is not angling for longevity by not discussing succession, then what was the intention of the political party in the first place? You see parties such as Chama cha Mapinduzi in Tanzania, the ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe, you see all these political parties discuss succession. Parties that don't discuss succession, such as NRM in Uganda, for example, are bound to fall by the wayside, just like ODM. And I tend to think that for long people have been hoodwinked to think that ODM has been this democratic political party. No, it hasn't. ODM is a private property of Raila Odinga and his family. They decide how the party is run. They decide who gets nominated for what position. They decide how much who pays to get the party ticket. Those tickets are sold. They're not given out on any democratic tenet or concepts of popularity or whatever. You could be as popular as Jesus Christ in your constituency, but if the family of Raila Odinga do not like you, or you have not paid them what they want, the amount of money they need, you don't get the party ticket. And Raila has used ODM for so many years to muzzle politics in Luo Nyanza. And I'm so glad that this conversation around Sifuna is coming up now, because what it is showing the party is that the time has come for generational handing over of the baton. Two is the family of Raila Odinga, the private family of Raila Odinga. The private family of Raila Odinga is hogging his aura. And this is why someone like Ida Odinga cannot dare say that, hey, Mzee, you need to rest. She still pushes him because of selfish hypergamy, in my view. Ida is so selfish that she wants everything for herself and her children. She doesn't care about Luo Nyanza. Ida only cares about how much money the family of Raila Odinga makes out of Luo politics. She doesn't give a damn whether we have roads. She doesn't give a damn whether we have good schools. She doesn't give a damn whether Luo youth have jobs. She doesn't care. She cares about how much money the Raila Odinga aura rakes into her family account. End of story. So she's also a problem. You saw the nomination of her daughter to Iala. That happened after the handing over the ceremonial, the unceremonial handing over of the Kibra seat to her daughter backfired. So she got a soft landing in Iala. And ear to the ground has it that ODM is bound to be handed over to her. This is the resistance. So the undertows are coming out very cleverly with Sifuna hitting on Ruto. Now, what Sifuna is doing is causing tensions between the position of the party, because he's a Secretary General, and the allegiance that the so-called ODM experts have towards Ruto. Remember, the likes of Mbadi or Paranya and Joho are not in government to exhibit allegiance to the government. They are there to show allegiance to Ruto. That is why every time they open their mouths to speak, they don't elucidate government policy. They talk about sycophantic support for Ruto. And it is very disappointing that for someone like Mbadi, who is the CS Finance, instead of discussing our public fiscal life, he discusses what Ruto has done. Ruto has done this, Ruto has done this, Ruto has done this. So in effect, there's no difference between Mbadi and Sudi, or Gladys Bosch-Cholet, or Aaron Cheriot. It is very disappointing. And this is why I always say that these people were appointed into government not to perform. They were appointed as a consideration of whatever amount of money Raila Odinga received, because it wasn't for free anyway. Having said that, I do not think that ODM adds any value to Kenya Kwanza as we approach 2027. Because if Raila Odinga sticks with Ruto in the 2027 election, he's going to suffer. Him and ODM will suffer a lot of blowback in his tribal base of Western and Nyanza with dissent. I see very many non-ODM candidates getting elected. I see the Gen Z playing a very crucial role in the demise of ODM. So ODM is bound to remain a shell and a shadow of itself if ventilation is not provided for succession. It is very crucial that this happens, and if it doesn't happen, then I think Raila Odinga will have himself to blame for a very terrible legacy. Final thing about ODM is that I think Ruto has successfully done to ODM what Raila did to KANU. And if you see the undertows, the strings that are pulling from under the feet of Raila Odinga, they are very, very strategic moves that, if can be attributed to Ruto, then that would be a mastery of the political chessboard. And my reading is that Raila is getting a dose of his own medicine. I do understand that his followers still believe that he has a magic number that is going to pull on Ruto at the 11th hour. I don't think that is there. Raila has sold false hope to his followers over the years. And if you read through his politics, you will begin to realize that false hope sells. False hope gives a sense of relief against the political suffering of his bedrock Luo Nyanza and Western Kenya, but essentially does nothing and adds no value at all to the electorate in those parts that heavily support ODM. So I think it's a wake-up call. ODM probably needs to die a natural death. The likes of Sifuna must fight for agitation, and if ventilation is not provided, they should leave and form a new outfit. ODM fresh ODM alliance or something. Yeah, these are my thoughts. What do you think? Have a great day.